You wake up to fists pounding on your front door. Not knocking, pounding. A man's voice outside, flat, official, already done arguing. Stand back from the window. You hear something scrape against the wood. A lock. Then a second one. Your neighbor coughed 3 days ago. You told yourself it was nothing. It was not nothing. You press your face to the glass. A man in a leather coat nails a wooden cross to your front door. He paints 2 words above it in red, Lord have mercy. Your door is now sealed from the outside. Your whole household, sick or healthy, stays inside this house for the next 28 days. A watchman sits on a stool across the street. He is paid to make sure nobody leaves. You did not choose this. Your neighbor's cough chose it for you. It is September of 1665. The city outside your window is dying faster than anyone can count. This week alone, more than 7,000 people in London will be dead before Sunday. Today, an outbreak that kills 7,000 people in one city would be a global emergency. Borders would close. Headlines would run for months. In your city, it is just this week's number. Next week's will probably be worse. You have food for maybe 4 days. You have no doctor coming. You have a watchman outside whose job is to make sure you do not run. So what do you build inside these 4 walls to survive the 28 days you have left? Nobody in your house chose this sickness. The city did this to itself, slowly, for years. London in 1665 is packed tight. Narrow streets, open gutters, rubbish piled against walls because nobody hauls it away fast enough. An apothecary named William Boghurst stayed in the city through the worst of it. He treated the sick door to door, while wealthier men fled. He wrote it down plainly. He blamed filth, blocked sewage, and the starved, weakened bodies of London's poor. He was not wrong about the filth. He was wrong about why it mattered. The real killer is smaller than a fingernail. A bacteria called Yersinia pestis, carried inside fleas. Those fleas live on the city's black rats. Nobody in 1665 knows this. To them, sickness travels on bad air. A poisonous fog called miasma, rising off rot and waste and the breath of the dying. So the city fights the wrong enemy with everything it has. The Lord Mayor orders every cat and dog in London killed. Someone decided they were spreading the disease. That decision will turn out to be a catastrophe nobody understands yet. Cats hunt rats, kill the cats, and the rats and their fleas multiply with nothing left to stop them. A naval administrator named Samuel Pepys stayed in London too. His diary reads like a man watching his own city come apart. He writes of streets gone empty and melancholy. Sick people collapsed in public, covered in sores. An entire district left with one apothecary still alive to treat anyone. Do you trust a doctor in this city right now? Most of the ones with money already left for the countryside in July. The king and his whole court went with them. The ones who stayed are stretched past breaking. So people build their own defenses with whatever they have. If a doctor does visit your sealed house, he will not look like a doctor. He will look like a crow. A long leather coat, head to ankle. Thick gloves. A black beak-shaped mask packed full of dried herbs, pepper, and strong-smelling roots. He believes filtering the bad air through sweet-smelling herbs will keep the disease away. It will not work. The fleas bite straight through his coat sleeves anyway, but it is the only protection anyone has thought to invent. So you build your own version inside your sealed house. You pack a cloth mask with whatever dried herbs are in your kitchen. You tie it over your face near anyone showing symptoms. Picture breathing normally with a beak stuffed full of dried rosemary strapped to your face for hours. It looks less like medicine and more like a bad costume nobody can take off. Today you would just put on a properly fitted respirator mask. Tested, manufactured, gone in seconds. Not handmade from kitchen herbs and a leather hood. Inside your house, you keep a fire burning day and night because the city has ordered it. Burn pepper. Burn hops. Burn frankincense if you can get it. The smoke is meant to scrub the poisoned air clean. You are also told, seriously, by official order, to smoke tobacco. Even children. The belief is that the smoke creates a barrier the sickness cannot cross. A bottle called plague water sits on your shelf too. A thick infusion of herbs and roots steeped in alcohol, sold by apothecaries and passed between neighbours like it might actually save someone. Pepys himself was given a bottle as a gift, the kind of thing you handed a friend, the way you might hand someone hand sanitizer today. Hoping it does something, Not entirely sure that it does. None of it touches the actual cause. Not the herb mask, not the smoke, not the bottled plague water on your shelf. But you do not know that yet. None of you do. What you know is that your neighbor is coughing through the wall. Your food is running low. The watchman outside has a clear order if you try to leave before your 28 days are up. So which do you build first inside this sealed house? The mask, the fire, or the food store that has to last a household you cannot reduce by even one mouth? Inside the house, the air is already thick with smoke from the fire nobody is allowed to let go out. Your eyes sting. Your throat is raw from breathing pepper and burning hops for hours at a time. Behind the wall, the coughing has gotten worse. You know what that means now. You've seen the marks plague leaves, hard swellings under the arm and at the neck, the buboes that give this disease its name. You have maybe a week of food left, stretched thin across everyone trapped in this house with you. Outside, you hear wheels on stone. Slow, heavy. The dead cart. A man's voice rolls down the street, the same words he says every night now. Bring out your dead! You press yourself to the gap in the shutter. You watch bodies, wrapped in whatever cloth their families could spare, loaded onto an open cart already half full. There is no time left for individual burials. Not anymore. They are carried to open pits dug in fields at the edge of the city. Dozens of bodies laid in together, because there is nowhere else fast enough to put them. Do you tell your household what you just saw? Or do you keep it to yourself? Inside your sealed house, the real choice in front of you has nothing to do with masks or smoke. It is this. Do you keep the sick member of your household close, where you can feed and tend to them? Or do you separate them into one room and seal that door too? It might be the only thing standing between the rest of you and the cart outside. There is no clean answer. Keep them close and you risk everyone. Shut them away and you may be sealing a door on someone you love while they are still breathing. This is the choice families across London are making right now, in sealed houses just like yours all across the city. Here is what the numbers from that year, the official bills of mortality, eventually showed. Sealing a healthy family inside with a sick one did not slow the plague down. It did the opposite. Trapped together in close, smoke-choked rooms, healthy people caught it from the dying faster than they ever would have on an open street. By the time the worst of it passes, somewhere between 75,000 and 100,000 Londoners will be dead. That is close to a third of the entire city's population, gone in roughly 18 months. Daniel Defoe, writing decades later from his uncle's recollections, described London during these months as a city quite abandoned to despair. The rich who fled in July, the king and his court among them, mostly survived untouched. They sat out the worst of it in the clean air of Oxford, while the poor stayed locked inside the very houses meant to save them. William Boghurst, the apothecary who stayed and treated the sick door to door, lived through it. So did Samuel Pepys, still writing in his diary every night, recording a city he barely recognized anymore. You do not know any of these numbers yet. All you know is the sound of wheels outside your window and the silence behind the wall where coughing used to be. Here is the twist nobody in your sealed house could have known. The herb mask did nothing. The smoke did nothing. The plague water on your shelf did nothing. The thing that actually ends this nightmare arrives without anyone asking for it. Without a single doctor, apothecary, or official order causing it. Cold weather. As autumn turns to winter, the fleas that carry the disease slow down and die off in the falling temperatures. The outbreak collapses on its own, the way it always eventually did in every English plague year before this one. Not the masks, not the fires, not the dead cats and slaughtered dogs that let the actual rat population explode unchecked. Just the season changing, the way it would have changed regardless of anything anyone built or burned inside their sealed homes. 28 days of quarantine, the smoke, the herb-stuffed mask, none of it touched the real cause. A flea on a rat nobody thought to suspect. That is the part that should sit with you. An entire city fought a war against the wrong enemy for a year and a half. And still, by sheer chance of timing, scraped through to the other side. Think about the last time you were told to isolate, to shut your door, wait out a set number of days, and trust that distance alone would be enough. You had information they never had. You knew the actual cause. You had a test that could tell you in minutes, not a watchman guessing by who was coughing through a wall. You had medicine built in a lab, not steeped in a bottle and handed between neighbours like a small act of hope. Picture trading every single one of those advantages away. No test. No diagnosis. No idea what was actually killing your neighbours. Only an old belief about bad air and a king's order to burn pepper and kill the cats. That is what stayed behind those sealed doors in 1665, while the wealthy who could afford to leave simply did not have to find out. You wake up tonight to a city that has gone quiet in a different way. Fewer carts. Fewer voices calling the same grim words down the street. Not because anyone built the right thing inside their house, because winter came and the fleas could not survive it. The fist that pounded on your door that September morning sealed you inside a house with no real protection at all. Only the slow turn of a season nobody could control, and the unbearable luck of which side of that locked door you happened to be standing on.